I have just got to give an update to the wackiest trial that's ever been broadcast. It finally concluded, and goodness gracious, geez Louise, unstoppable force of nature on the court, a three-point machine, and also my drives were second to none. I was a wheelin' and dealin', squirtin' and squealin' animal out there. Briefly talk about this, but it's just kind of a captivating story. I'm sure you've at least heard some whispers about this supervillain, but there is a serial sperm bank donor who is locked in a legal battle that I think has to be the most unhinged court case I have ever had the privilege of watching live. It's such a blessing. It really feels like this is a parody of the legal system, like it's some kind of old college humor skit about silly, stinky inventions, just garbage that Jimmy Neutron would have stopped talking about EDP 445. But just like most people's New Year's resolutions about going to the gym, I'm going to have to break it. Every few months for the last couple of years, like clockwork, he will try and come back. Evil 4 Remake, a very long anticipated title, and one that I've been looking forward to as well. I think the second one is my favorite in the entire franchise. Scare you, have you trembling in fear, wetting your britches? And no, it's not a picture of me without a beard, but it is something equally as terrifying. AI! I covered yesterday, and I'm just going to be honest and upfront right away. It put a smile on my face. I was grinning ear to ear like a child who just met Optimus Prime at Universal Studios theme park. Like, this was good. While you'll know that I've made a lot of videos on bad Kickstarter projects like the Air Umbrella, which is an absolute timeless classic, and I've also made a lot of content just on bad products in general and its industry, but there's one that's been able to fly under the radar for way too long now, even though it's just as slimy and scummy as some of the more mainstream ones people like to spit on, and that's Nexon. You've probably heard of them because of him. So what is this? It's like a Storm the Trenches game?
Introduction on the left, we're talking about one of America's finest.
Expectations and a big appetite. I hope this feeds me well. Training wheels on, little Weenie Hut Jr. action. Missions and a big appetite. I hope this feeds me well. Of someone telling us they're going to do something, but they never really do. They just keep making excuses and pushing it further and further down the line until you eventually forget about it or you just die. Well, that's what I've been doing to a lot of you for I'm sure we've all had people overlook, and it's the importance of stuntmen. Their work is some of the most important in all of movies in general, and I always have such a deep appreciation for the art, especially growing up wasn't overwhelmingly negative. I can't even remember, it's been so long. Trying to remember a time where the Twitch higher-ups seemed in touch with the community is like trying to remember a dream. Like, it's just about going on in the shadows. There's a secret war between major food brands and the FDA, mainly cereal producers like General Mills and Kellogg's, because the FDA...
Go. Alright, I'll do it then.
It's the official podcast, and it's episode 328, I think. Somewhere in that ballpark. And boys, I'm just gonna kick us off with a topic. The banks are down. Encounters I've ever seen. This is a vigilante predator hunter group that was busting the person they were investigating in public, talking about a case I'd never heard of that apparently is just wrapped up. The Alex Murdaugh murder. Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at the new Shazam movie, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not very good. I don't know what to tell you. Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look.
I'm rolling.
We're gonna do a Milky Milk tier list today. I'm gonna start lowest fat and increase in fat.
Okay. Yeah. Hot meal fresh out of the Olive Garden microwave straight to your dinner table here. This news is fresh off the press. The CEO of Twitch has announced that they're stepping down. Emmett Shear has been with the company at the helm for 16. I've got a piping hot for joining us here today at the funeral service for FaZe Clan. They had a great run, one of the biggest orgs in all of esports, gaming in general, really. And now they're buried 6 feet under. I'm sure you may have taken a look at the FaZe. If it looked familiar, This is the same thing I wore last time I took you over my knee and spanked your bottom with some discipline. And I'm happy to report that these are back in stock and a lot more at MoistGlobal.com. Last time I talked about you, I used you for a merchandise push and shows with things like the Halo television series being an affront to God and probably just a downright violation of the Geneva Convention that hairs of the entire internet after some extremely serious allegations were levied against him. The allegations came from one person on Twitter in particular who released a massive document. Corruption has sunk its fangs into everything around us. The price of eggs just keeps going up. You could get a single carton of eggs for the same price as a down payment on a Tesla. I can't believe the one special to share with you today. It's been a little while since I've just dragged something wacky into your lap and set it down like a cat bringing in a mouse from outside. It's rare that I see a curse that comes with live streaming. If you make a mistake, there's no undo button. You can't just cut it out. If it's there on a live stream, it's there forever. And we've seen time and time again. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of exciting new stuff in here. I'm sure you've all seen the trailers already, so like the grappling hook and everything. I think we're all pretty excited. We're going to also be playing with our other raid team members, Jackson. Oh, he's not even doing whippets, he's doing Nas.
Why they are failing to come to
Man's huffing the balloons in there, huh?
This is a kind of environment where for traffic to continue.
Acting career. I starred in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I wasn't the lead role, but I was the most important role. I was the glue that held the... Yep. So, Destiny 2...
Lightfalls, the newest expansion, it just dropped. We are going to go hog wild on it. We are actually competing for World First under Moist Esports. It is sponsored, so big thanks to Bungie.
Look at me, you probably assume that I'm some inbred, illiterate Florida man. But I can read. I just really choose not to read novels. One of their bad changes they've made recently. This is more rare than winning the lottery. In November, YouTube made changes to their monetization policy, which overnight... what was it? I forgot what it was called. He sent me a DM about it. It's a cologne by some goofball. Jeez. This seems easy. We already know that tech. Now all I need to learn is how to do the stick clip. Though it literally just seems like setting the stick down and walking. Pretty special to me. This is the only show I've ever watched as the episodes rolled out from start to finish. Well, soon to be finished. I started watching the show right when it aired. Good to see you, Chris. I also would just like to point out real quick, breaking news streaming now. They had beef. I usually like to put that beef on a taco and just eat it one time, and I don't think there's any reason to go back for seconds. Typically, the cycle of life works. I'll make a undisclosed bunker outside of Area 51, and I gotta tell you, it feels good to be back, boys.
Oh, it feels great. If you're allergic to action, I sure hope you brought your EpiPens, because we got our
masculine exterior shell has begun to crack a little bit over the last month or so. It's almost like a Gundam, where this peak masculine... But today I want to take a look at what happens when all you do is fake it without ever making it. You end up like this loser we're about to take a look at today. A guy who has become a complete parody of all of humanity is right at your fingertips on the World Wide Web, the magical cyberspace. And actually, it's become somewhat of an overload